Guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to explore one of the most amazing places in Montenegro, if not actually the most amazing place, and we are in Kotor. So I'm going to show you the old town. I'm gonna show you the city walls. So basically we're going to climb a couple of 100 meters above the sea and to enjoy the magnificent views over the bay. And I will also show you my favorite part of Kotor, so make sure to stick around for that part. I'm gonna give you some information about the accommodation, transportation, things to do. So this video will be also very informative. So let's enjoy Kotor on these beautiful sunny days. As you notice, there are many Montenegro's red flags around the town today, and basically it is because it's our Independence Day today. So Montenegro is celebrating a 15-year anniversary since we became independent in 2006, and this is a big day for all of us. Lesser known fact is that Montenegro actually was independent back in the 19th century, and that lasted sadly only for a couple of decades when we lost our independence after the World War I. So we're continuing now our walk, and we are in the main square right in front of the old town, and we are now approaching the main entrance. So we are now in front of the main gate of the old town, and this gate is about 500 years old. The Kotor town has over 1,000 years of history, and we're really happy that we have such town here in Montenegro. I really love coming to Kotor almost every month pretty much, as this place is really fascinating, and I enjoy to walk the old town at least for half an hour, as the town really is an amazing place to enjoy the history, to enjoy the old architecture, and to enjoy actually the city's very laid-back vibe. Usually the city is very crowded in the summer, especially because of the cruise ships. Sometimes there is at least one or even two cruise ships per day during the summer season, but luckily at this moment there is so many people, so I can show you the city, how it looks when it's not so crowded. This is basically the main square when you enter the old town. Old town is filled with so many cozy cafes and restaurants, and they're really cool places to enjoy a cup of coffee or some delicious meal. Also, there is so many cool shops around the old town, and you can definitely find some unique souvenirs that locals are making in the old town. So from the main square on the entrance, when you turn left and just follow the stairs, we are going to see one of the nice viewpoints on the actual walls from the old town. Pretty impressive, right? The city walls really give you amazing panoramic views over the bay. As you see, this part of the wall and the little promenade definitely shouldn't be missed when you explore the old town. Most people actually do miss it because it's kind of hidden away, so people don't find it. So when you enter basically from the main gate, just take the left turn and just follow the steps. You will find the entrance to this part of the city walls. We are coming down to another little square. They're called piazzas over here. It is actually an Italian word for a square, and there's so many piazzas around Kotor, and each one of them is very unique and have a different story, and has many different kind of coffee places that are really cool to enjoy. As the summer didn't kick in yet, some of the coffee places are still not open, but still this is a really amazing square to see and to film. As I said earlier, I'm always very excited to enjoy and explore the old town, even though I visited this place like 1,000 times so far. But it always fascinates me, the history and the culture of this place, as one can only imagine how life was around here 100, 200, 500 or even 1,000 years ago. As you see, there are so many cool shops with amazing lights and some handmade unique bags that you can buy in such shops like this one. And now we're coming to another piazza, which is very cool to explore and to see, as there are a couple of really amazing churches. This is really so cool, as on such sunny day you can just get a cup of coffee and soak in the sun, soak in the old town atmosphere, and just think about your travel plans and what else to visit in Montenegro. So guys, I also created several more exciting and amazing videos. Check out the playlist of Montenegro Coast, as you will see there the videos from Luštica Bay or from Budva, and definitely I think you can find out more over there about other destinations that you can explore in Montenegro. Check out how cool is this. Even though this is a very tough moment for tourism, I must say that I do enjoy Kotor being with so little people as it is today. Usually, as I mentioned, it's very crowded and it's a very different impression of the old town when you're bumping into usually so many people. So from this piazza we will continue our walk, and here you will see the really cool building. And it is actually a home to the most famous the souvenir shop in Kotor. I would definitely recommend this souvenir shop, as they have so many unique things that you can buy, and they really do reflect the Kotor's history from, as you see, from Venetian period. You can find one of those cool Venetian masks. It's called Kotorska Suvenirnica. Really amazing place. I usually buy some souvenirs when I go to visit my friends abroad, and they do like things from this place. Also you can find things for children, so not only for adults. So when you cross through these narrow streets, you will find another piazzas. So there are so many of them, and you would be surprised that such actually a small old town has so many beautiful squares. And this here in front of us is a maritime museum. So maritime museum has a big collection of the naval history, as the Kotor is famous for its naval heritage. And now we arrived to the square where it is the famous cathedral of Saint Trifun. This cathedral you most likely saw if you explored or googled about Kotor. This is the most famous cathedral, and it is almost 900 years old. It sits on this beautiful square, again where there are so many beautiful other palaces, and also a couple of very cool restaurants. I definitely recommend chilling on this square for half an hour or 1 hour, as this square has actually a very significant meaning for the locals, as this is where people gathered for almost a millennia now, and it is definitely one of the highlights of Kotor. So we're continuing the tour around town, and we're passing another cobbled narrow street, and guess what? There is another small piazza, and this is also an amazing one. As you see, very cool palaces around. And this palace here is also very special, as this is called the palace of the family which used to be one of the wealthiest. So guys, I believe this was a very nice glimpse and little tour of the old town, as we are back to the main square from where we started when we turned left for the city walls. So now I'm going to show you San Giovanni Fortress, which is basically a big wall uphill, and we're going to ascend for several hundred meters uphill, and from there are unbeatable views of the Kotor Bay. Last time I visited the city walls was exactly 10 years ago, so I'm very excited to go uphill again and to share with you this experience. So basically, from the back side of the old town, this is basically the main gate to enter the fortress. Usually the ticket is 8 euros to visit the walls, but still, as the season didn't kick in, at the moment it's free of charge. So we're going to start climbing the steep hill. So it is several hundred meters uphill, so I definitely recommend you to have the comfortable shoes, some water with you, and of course a hat or any other sun protection. As you see, the path has stairs and also the stony part. The trail is maintained, but it is not perfectly maintained, so I would definitely recommend to have a good pair of shoes to take this hike a bit more seriously, as sometimes people don't really take it seriously, so they go without water, or they think they will be up in 10-15 minutes, but that's not really the case. So shoes, water, and the sun protection. As you climb more and more, you are already reaching amazing panoramic views of the bay, so you can only imagine how it looks like from the top. So let's continue the hike. Guys, how cool are the views behind me? These are really some of the most impressive views that I ever managed to see in my life, and I traveled extensively and I really saw some cool views, but Kotor Bay from above is always impressive. And down here you can see the old town in shape of a triangle. This is how the scenery looks like on the way up, as these are the city wall, which was a fortress once upon a time. Very steep, as you see. This hike is proving to be a bit more challenging than I expected, as the sun is very strong today. Almost at the top. I'm out of breath. The sun is really strong, but these views are really worth it. These views are definitely well worth the effort. So this is pretty much the top of the fortress, and in a couple of more steps we will be at the top of the fortress. So this is basically how the fortress looks like from the top. As you see, there is no one around. I guess I'm the only one crazy to climb the very top on such hot and sunny day. Even though I'm exhausted, I really can say these views over the bay are really well worth it and very rewarding for such a hike. So there is about 1,500 steps to reach the fortress. I'm actually quite happy I did the hike today, as I really love to enjoy such views over the Boka Bay. As you see, this mountain across us, it's called Vrmac, and there is also a great hiking path on top of the mountain, and you get to go down to Tivat town. This is also a really cool hike that I plan to do and showcase in one of my next videos. So that was the tour of the city walls. So now I'm going to take you to my actually favorite place of Kotor, and this is a couple of minutes further away from the old town. This place is a promenade along the sea, and it is several kilometers long, and it is definitely a walk you don't want to miss when you visit Kotor. There are plenty of cafes and restaurants around the promenade, so let me show you how it looks like. So here we are at the promenade we call Lower Road or Donji Put. So the promenade stretches a couple of kilometers down the coast, and it is really chilled. It's very quiet. Most of people actually don't know about it, so sadly they skip it when they visit, and there's some nice beaches available as well. So this looks like a very cool garden to chillax, to get coffee or lunch, as it is right by the water, and there is about a dozen such places that you can enjoy here on the promenade. Guys, so that would be pretty much a tour of the old town, of the city walls and the promenade along the sea. So let me give you some more information about the accommodation, transportation, and some day trips from Kotor. Speaking about the transportation and reaching Kotor, it's pretty much easy to reach it by bus from pretty much every town in Montenegro. From Tivat airport, it's only 15-minute drive by taxi, which is about 10 to 15 euros depending on the season. Public transportation from the airport is not available, so taxi is your best guess. In case you need to travel between towns such as Tivat, Budva, Podgorica, public transportation and buses go pretty much very often, every half an hour or so. I would say that renting a car is your best choice in Kotor and pretty much around the whole Montenegro, as this gives you most freedom to travel around and explore. Rent a car will usually be around 25 to 30 euros per day in the summer, and you can get I believe a bit better deal in the winter time. Other than rent a car, as I mentioned, the buses are very often. You can get them for cheap money. It's about 3, 4, 5 euros to go around Tivat or Budva, or maybe a bit more to reach Podgorica. To the north as well, there are connections. You can reach Žabljak or Kolašin for about 10 or so euros pretty much. I would say that also you can do hitchhiking for those who are more adventurous. There are people who will pick you up, and it is fairly safe. I would use my best judgment obviously and not really do it by night. How long to stay in Kotor? Again, this depends on how much time you have in Montenegro. I would say that Kotor is a good base for a couple of days to explore Boka Bay, as neighboring towns of Herceg Novi, Tivat and Budva are just about 20 minutes or half an hour away. So Kotor is definitely a good base that I could recommend to stay for a couple of days or maybe even a week if you have more time. It's quite easy to reach any destination from here. There is plenty of accommodation options, starting from apartments and Airbnbs. You can get an apartment from about 20-25 euros up to 60 or 70 maybe during the summer. Also there are choices of 3, 4 and 5-star hotels. Hotels will usually be around 70 plus euros in the summer season and up to 300 euros for 5-star hotels. During the winter the hotels are much more affordable, so you can have a hotel for 30 or 40 euros per night. I would say that your best bet is to book on booking.com or Airbnbs, as there you will find the best deals. In case you're looking maybe to stay longer for a month or more, then I would recommend you to negotiate the price with the hotels or apartment owners, as you can contact them directly and negotiate much better price than what you see online. Usually in the summer you will need to rent for a couple of months if you wish to get a good price, which can be considered about 400 or 500 euros per month for one bedroom apartment. In the winter time obviously this is cheaper, and it will cost you about 200 to 250 for one bedroom apartment. The longer you book, obviously for 3, 4, 5 or 6 or more months, then you can get the much better price. So what to do in Kotor other than walking the old town and city walls? There is so much more to do. You can do the Boka Bay tour. This is by far my favorite thing to do in Boka Bay, as I pretty much do the tour every couple of years at least, around the whole bay, and the tour is usually about 2 to 3 hours long, and you get to see Perast, Mamula, Blue Cave and some other fascinating places around the bay. This will usually be about 30 to 50 euros per person, and the boats will be about 4 to 6 or 7 people depending on the group. If you wish to rent a boat privately, usually it's about, depending on the deal, but from 150 or 200 euro per smaller boat, and you can negotiate this price directly with the boat owner rather than to book it online. I would say that 3-hour tour is the best way to explore Boka Bay, as you really get to see all the highlights and the small towns around the bay. Other than Boka Bay tour, you can also do plenty of water sports. You can also do some hiking, as just across Kotor is Vermats mountain, and on top of it, there is an old Austro-Hungarian fortress, and from there just follow the trail along the top of the mountain, and eventually you will go down to the city of Tivat. This is, I would say, a really great way to spend half day and to get your muscles running, and to of course enjoy the beautiful Boka Bay views. Day trips that you can do from Kotor is basically, there are plenty of them. Perast is just 15 minutes away from here. It's a beautiful small town with a very cool promenade. You can enjoy the old palaces to see, and some really nice restaurants. Also those cool islands called Our Lady of the Rocks is just over there, and you can take a little boat tour for a couple of euros to see the island and to learn about its history. Also Herceg Novi is a cool town to see. There is a cool promenade, there is a really nice old town. It's a bit steep but very cool to explore. Tivat is also just 20 minutes from here, and I would also mention obviously Budva is just half an hour with magnificent old town, and a bit further away from Budva, so half an hour from Budva, which is about 1 hour from Kotor, is Cetinje, which is Montenegro's cultural capital. And Cetinje is definitely, I would say, a must visit if you wish to enjoy and learn more about the Montenegro's history and culture, as from there you can also take the old scenic road to Kotor. It's called Troica, and enjoy the amazing views over the bay. and this is actually an old Austro-Hungarian road, so I would definitely recommend to take this tour. It is about half day, and you also get to enjoy the Lovce National Park. So from Kotor you can either go to Budva and then towards Cetinje, or from Kotor straight you can take this zigzag road called Trojica, and then you will reach Lovce National Park, and maybe you can even visit the mausoleum. This is where one of the Montenegrin kings was buried, and from mausoleum you will definitely, I would say, maybe enjoy the best views of Kotor Bay, and from there you can take a tour of Cetinje. So you can go either way, you cannot go wrong for half day. Also, one of my favorite things to do in Montenegro is river rafting. From Kotor it is, in case you wish to make a day trip, that I would not recommend actually, because it's a 4-hour ride in one way. It's a rafting place in Plužine. This is close to Bosnian border on the north of Montenegro. It is possible to do a day trip, so to drive 4 hours there and to do a rafting and then to come back in the evening, but I believe this would be really exhausting. So best way would be to arrange with a travel agency to pick you up from Kotor, to do the rafting, to have a lunch and dinner, and then sleep over there, and then tomorrow you can come back to Kotor. In the description I will leave the link for really good travel agents that can arrange this for you. Guys, there is a good reason why Kotor is one of the most visited places in Montenegro, and truly is a jewel of Kotor Bay. I hope you like the tour and the information I provided in this video. In case you did, feel free to like the video, subscribe to my channel, as I will continue to post weekly content from Montenegro. For questions, please do let me know in the comments, and of course your feedback, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching, guys.